Skylark Musica 2018 Santa Cruz Tour with Howard, Celina, and Django the talking dog. On November 30th, we left San Juan Island on the Red-Eye Ferry and got to the mainland just in time to see the sun coming up as we headed to Santa Cruz. Our first stop was at Philomath, Oregon, to see our friends Bill and Kate and spend the night there. The Christmas tree was beautiful. In fact, their whole house is really pretty special. It was fun visiting with them, and Django and Howard loved sitting in the solarium with its heated tile floor. Good thing in the cold weather. The guest room is so beautiful, so comfortable, and so welcoming. Thank you, Kate and Bill. We really had a good visit. After leaving Kate and Bill, we headed south on the 5 and stopped at Yak's to try out their great big burgers, which were a little intimidating to Howard. He soon got the upper hand, however, and the burger had no chance. Yep, down that rabbit hole. I, on the other hand, took a more cautious approach, and since I knew everything was going to fall out of my burger onto the plate anyway, I thought I'd get in nice and tight. There you go. Not missing a thing. Coming into California, the sky cleared up a little bit and we got to see beautiful Mount Shasta and its adjoining cinder cone. It's always great to come back to California, especially when we know our friends are waiting for us. When we finally arrive at Kathleen and Scotty's place in Santa Cruz, Django and Otto, of course, have their reunion. And their special place is on the back of the couch. It sits in the little nook. And they love playing and they love being tired together. They love teasing each other too. Just watch.
Everybody knows it's smart color, so you have the names.
She does tend to act better with it on.
Yeah.
But I think one of these days she'll go, you know, she doesn't have any white anymore.
It's always fun to perform on Please Stand By at KPIG 107.5, and this time it was to promote the show, TV show theme songs show, to be held at the Ugly Mug in a few days. There's Stephen Bigger and Howard and Patty, and of course we have Ron and Rick, and back in there is Michael Westendorp, who is a bass player who stole my cookies. Thanks, Michael. After we got mic'd up and the sound was ready to go, Sleepy John started the show, and we had a ton of fun. Hey, Sleepy John, thanks a lot. Here's a hug just for you. Sleepy's done so much for local musicians and getting them on the air. We really appreciate you, John. Well, that afternoon we drove to MJA Winery on the west side to see and hear our friend Andy Furman. Yay! Later on that day, Kathleen had a small birthday party. And our friends were there, Ann Howard, DT, Lori Bertolucci. Well, after a few days of staying at Kathleen's, we moved into the Capitola Beach House owned by our friend Tom Mullering and his family. Thank you, Tom. We did get a chance to get up to UCSC and perform on the Wiki Wiki Wednesday show that Lani Bandauer has up there, and got a beautiful view of the Pogonip. And of course the show we were there to do was television theme songs. A Jazz the Dog production, of course. And there was going to be a special guest there, but won't give you too much information about that just yet. You You know, I really do think that Patty Maxine is the it girl. She sure has got it. Loading in is always fun, and that's what we were doing here at the Ugly Mug, doing some sound checks and making sure everybody looked good and sounded good. Speaking of looking good, I got a really great picture of Patty. She looks so real. Oh my gosh, I can't believe she's only 69. Yep, it was fun loading in and getting ready for the show, and all our friends were going to be there. Here's a little taste.
Any Trekkies in the house? Well, Mike the bass man, you weren't supposed to eat that.
Sorry, I have the cookies.
It's always the bass man. Jesus. We're gonna pass these around. I made more of these, but I left the Romulan cloaking device over the rest of them, so I couldn't find them. This is all I have. So there may not be one for everyone, but please share.
Don't eat that. Romulans can look right through the cloaking device.
So I grew up watching Star Trek like a lot of you, right? And I was in love with Captain James Tiberius Kirk. The way he talked always made me want him more. So this just broke. But I made this model of the Enterprise when I was 10 years old. So it's about 30 years old. And this is my, I used to sleep with this doll under my pillow, but I won't tell you where I kept my pillow. And I wanted to, kind of share with the rest of you Trekkies, because this is something very special to me, and Mr. Wright is going to lead us forward. Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, and to go where no man has gone before. Beyond the realm of the starlight, my love is traveling through starlight. I know he'll find in star-clustered regions love, strange love, a star woman teaches. I know his journey ends never. His star trek will go on forever. But tell him while he travels in starry seas, remember me.
We had some beautiful sunrises and sunsets at the beach house, and we enjoyed our time there. We had our friends Marty and Jerry staying with us, and they enjoyed it too. Thanks, Tom. One day we drove down to Carmel Valley Manor to have lunch with Barbara and Stephen Brooks, our friends from Carmel. You know, we've known these folks for a while, and they're just so lovely. Actually, Barbara sang a song for us, a little short version of a song, I should say. Thanks for this wonderful poster you made, Andy, of our show with you at the Davenport Roadhouse. You make us look so good. It was great to see Gary Sweet Pea Cunningham playing in the band with Andy and the rest of the guys. Of course, Mr. Wright on keys was my favorite. Mwah. Hey, baby. A big thanks to Tom Lightsky and Rhan Wilson for adding so much to our music. We really appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Staying up in Bonnie Doon is such a treat for us. We just love visiting with Andy and Abby. Their home is decorated so beautifully, and Abby's got such a sense of style that I just love looking around at all the little details and the artwork. You do a great job, Abby.
Whatever will be, and I'll never say never.
Andy took us down to Davenport Landing Beach one day, and we got to enjoy the sights, the beautiful beach. The weather was gorgeous. We saw a ton of pelicans and some, I guess they're surf sailors. It was a lovely day. And here are the boys with their boys.
What it's like to be blue, or what it's like to have a life without you. I always dreamed and hoped I'd see the day. Always thought that I would see it in your eyes, as if I always knew exactly when it came to me. But life's been so surprising to me.
Driving down Empire Grade from Bonnie Doon into Santa Cruz is always such a beautiful trip. Love the forest. We had to get to Dharma's and have my favorite kitchery and salad and a roll with lemon tahini dressing. Oh my God, it's so good. Up at Andy's, he's working on a project, making a pizza oven. Oh, it's going to be great. Yep, Andy's working really hard on this thing, and I think it's going to be a great place to party. If we can just make sure that the mountain lions stay away. Django and I heard a mountain lion chirping that night, and boy, did we get in the house fast. The sunrises in Bonnie Doon are always spectacular, and that's part of the charm of staying with Andy and Abby. Getting up early to have coffee with Abby, and having delicious meals prepared by Andy. Tonight we had latkes with sour cream and applesauce, and meatballs and salad. Boy, that was a fun night. It was a fun dinner. Thanks, guys. Driving up the coast, we get to see all the beautiful cliffs and oceanscapes, and we don't get much beach action in San Juan Island, or tunnels. So this is a fun tunnel we get to go through to get to San Francisco. along with all the natural and man-made things we get to see, are bridges. Bridges that look psychedelic when you take a really nice picture of them. After crossing the mountains and having a horrible night's drive, we ended up in Eugene for a Long Island iced tea and some Chinese food to wrap up the whole trip.